whether it be wrestling, acting, whatever. There comes moments where, and I could cuss on this show because, whatever, shit happens. And really, it was unfortunate, but, as long as everything was handled as a professional, and again, you've always treated me with such professionalism, I don't expect anything less from you. So, I'm just glad everything was handled the way it was. And, not only through private messages, there are a bunch of people out there through Twitter, not even fans, just, workers that were showing, vocalizing their support for you too, which was pretty good too. They're throwing themselves out there as well.
Yeah, and that was awesome to see because I didn't ask anybody to do anything. I didn't need to contact anyone. Hey, that's not my thing. Again, and people just make up all these things about who I am. It's a shame. At first when you're younger, you might be hurt when you're younger or something like that. You might be offended. Me, it's just sad. To me, it's unfortunate because you're missing out on a human being because you want this person to be this. People want me to be a certain way,
Right.
And that's how I'm going to be to them. And there's no giving them candy, paying them off. There's none of that. They're just going to feel that way. So be it. More people join that cause against me, so be it. But I have a career to live for. I have a job to do, and I can't let myself be weighed down by negativity when I know in my heart, I know I did the right thing. So I could have, the incident was a mess, and I couldn't apologize enough, but I did the best I could by that man after that. And he was fine.
And he got back to you. And he got back to you, which was great.
And he got back, which was amazing. That made my weekend. You know what I mean? It was like, great. This man is at peace with me over this situation, and I can move on to the 2 shows I have to compete on. I don't want to show up and not be able, you know what I mean? I have to perform. So Pete gave me that, and I'm thankful to him for that. And that's it. And this is something totally different than anything I ever do, but I just wanted to have that time to just say it. For people to, you could type it, but then you can hear it and listen to someone's voice, and maybe that'll help you understand. I'm not here to be people's best friend and favorite, whatever, but I'm here to do a job, and I do look out for people. You know what I'm saying? I do take care of people, and that's unfortunate that the venom has to come out.
Right.
So it is what it is. Like I said, life goes on, man. I'm in a very good place, and the support was incredible, and thank you to those people. Legitimately, that supported me, wrestlers, fans, like what have you. Thank you to those people that decided to look into the situation or really gave it a fair view, and didn't poison it with judgment. So there you go.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, I'm glad I was able to be able to give you a platform to verbalize everything, and again, like I said at the very beginning of this, before any of this spread out like wildfire, I did ask Darius to come on the show to talk about the weekend because he, on paper, he was going up against great competition. Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, Flip Gordon, and over at Warriors of Wrestling. He had a really big weekend with him. And I'm like, you know what? Come on. And this is before any of this really got out to, like, major proportions. And he didn't mention anything to me at all of anything that happened. So.
Well, look at this, dude. And Joey Ryan, Willie Mack, EC3. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like this was the first guy I wrestled and this happened. And then the first guy I wrestled and there was an injury. Like, though I wrestled all those matches, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
And again, EC3 was a TNA World Champion. You know what I mean? You're wrestling another fellow world champion.
That's what I'm saying. We go out there, we put in, 5-Borough Wrestling, Battle Club, BCW. We're having these matches, but no, like I said, that's what I mean, man. No matter how good I do, man, it's going to be people that are just lurking for that clip. So just for that one, that hole in the door where they can drill through. And that's the sad part, man. That's the sadness is people will hawk you like that, looking for negativity. That's the saddest, most pathetic.
It's the world we live in.
That's the world we live in, and that's it. Dude, I've been in business for a while. You know what I mean? I'm young, but I've been doing it legitimately in my life, and I get it. I've seen cutthroat. I get it. People, that aspect is very real. I've seen it. I've seen it young. So it's like, people don't know who I am. They don't think I get onto certain things. Trust me, I do. I'm not a fool, so
Right.
don't think I'm gonna, don't try and throw out bait in the middle of the floor and think I'm gonna flop to it and throw myself around like an idiot. I know what I'm doing. I know what happened. I was there, and I will say the same story to everyone because that story is the truth, whether you like it or not. So.
True. Well, and you experienced it yourself, and again, I'm very glad that you got a chance to get your side of the story out. And for anybody who's listening to this, here's his story, and you got it from the source himself. So I don't want to continue on this too much longer, only because we already talked enough about it. Now I feel like we're kind of harping on it.
Yeah, it's covered.
It's covered. I do want to congratulate you, though, on winning another world championship, adding it to your trophy case. For anybody who doesn't know who LDN Wrestling is, they're based out of the United Kingdom, and they run the third most shows in the world as far as professional wrestling. It's WWE, it's New Japan, it's LDN. They run over 180 shows a year. They're a very consistent brand over in the United Kingdom. They came over to the United States. Darius Carter defeats Flip Gordon to win the championship, and now he will be making his LDN debut in the United Kingdom in October. So congratulations are in order for you there, and I guess talk about that match, if you will, if you want.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, this was history. Myself and Flip Gordon in the first ever match that LDN, a UK promotion, had in the United States of America. That's history. I'm forever, win, lose, or draw was ingrained in the history of that moment. Their first USA show and their opening match. Flip and I did what we did. I get the better of Flip every time I face him. That's just the way it's been. We faced off in Beyond Wrestling. When he, the whole Biff's Kids versus Crusade for Change, I actually pinned him in that match. Then there was Battle Club, where it was myself against him against EC3, pinned him there too. Then I beat him LDN. I'm three up against Mr. Ring of Honor. So there's that, and now it's going into the UK. And again, this was all things that were happening already. And it's just
right.
It's just to me that's the biggest win for me. That means I'm doing it right. You know what I mean? I smile to myself. My heart smiles because now I can go to UK, which that's my favorite brand of wrestling. Anybody that knows a lick about me knows how I love World of Sport, how I love the European catch as catch can style. I pride myself on that.
Yeah. And a lot of your style is based off of that, or at least some sort of resemblance of it.
Thank you. And yes, it is. So this is a personal, if you want to call it bucket list, this is a thing for me. This means more to me than arguably anything else I've done in my career, other than winning a legitimate world championship for the first time. That's what this is. And now I get to take my second world title over to the UK and wrestle multiple times a day over a period, of time. Like that I'm doing, that is tremendous. My hard work, I feel like it's, because a lot of times you work really hard and you're like, man, you're not upset, but you're like, oh, I'm working hard and I'm doing this and that, and what more do I have to do to get this attention and that attention? But I don't dwell in that. Because you just have to keep getting better and better and better. And, there's competition out there, so be it. But you just have to keep improving consistently. And anyone who's watched my stuff legitimately over the past several years, especially last year, 2016, that whole run, 2016, and then with the Crusade, even before, the Crusade leading to me doing my singles thing, leading to this now, just the improvement and just the awareness and just growth as a person, as a competitor, that's what that was for me. And to have this moment to now say I'm going on my first United Kingdom tour, how can I dwell on negativity? How can I be upset? How can I not? You have to have respect for yourself. You have to want good things for yourself. And I want good things for myself, and I believe I deserve them. And I really look forward to this trip, defending that championship, and bringing a real monarch over to the UK because heaven knows they need one. So
right.
I'm gonna I'm gonna be their sovereign. I'm gonna be the sovereign of the United Kingdom. It's gonna be delightful.
And other than that, you did wrestle, some excellent competition as well, additional competition over the weekend. If you want to talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, it was Friday was Pete Dunne, and Saturday was Jason Karloff, who was the Words of Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, another legit world title. It was myself and Just Neff in the Hostile Collective against him in a handicap match. I'm sorry, it was myself and Abdul Nasir against Jason Karloff. We did the old, horseman trick which is why I love it, where I berate Neff at the beginning of the show, and I blame him because I say he's last in the Hostile Collective. He's ranking last because he loses the most matches. So I took him out of the match and put Abdul Nasir in. So I took Neff out of a match at Warriors. And, we played it all, we're playing it all off. So Karloff comes out by himself. It's me and Nasir against Karloff. We beat him down. Then Neff runs out for the tag. Neff runs out on Karloff's side, and the crowd was really loving it. And it's not an overstatement. They really believed in this. And Neff tagged in. I got that tag from Nasir. We both looked eye to eye, and he cocked his fist, and he turned around, and he punched Jason Karloff right in the mouth. And then we put a great, a brutal one. He wrapped a chain around his head, and I gave him the Yakuza with the chain around. So there's that. And there was no blood, he's alive. Message him if you want. So we did it. We stood tall, man. It was a classic, it's a classic Ric Flair maneuver, even in Evolution, where, you can think back to him, him and Triple H against Shawn. And, man, it was like Triple H put the verbal beat down on Flair, and you really thought Flair had enough, and then that low blow to Shawn, and it was like that's what the mindset was. So came off very well, and that was Saturday, and then Sunday was Flip Gordon. So
and speaking of Jason Karloff, you'll be wrestling him for the Warriors Wrestling World Title on September 9th in I believe in Staten Island, right?
That's right. My next title to claim.
Yep.
I'm gonna have 4 titles.
This will be now. You've won the Tier 1 Wrestling World Title. You got the LDN Wrestling World Title. Now you're challenging again for the Warriors Wrestling World Title. It's definitely something to behold. That now here you go. You're in the mix of all these. It's not even just heavyweight championship matches. These are world championship matches. Belts that have been defended. Not in the United States, across the world, which makes it a world championship. And, you're on a different level of competition. And I'm not just, again, you were wrestling Pete Dunne, you got Flip Gordon, you've wrestled all different, you were mentioning all the names before. And, all these world championships keep stacking up. A, you're going to run out of room in your trophy case if you haven't already added more to it. B,
I've added more, trust me.
I can't say I doubt it. and then it's just good to know that despite Friday's incident, you're trusted with good company, meaning the competition that's coming after you. After wrestling done, or anticipating it. Now, is there any pressure for you to step up your game that much more now?
Of course there is. But that's a pressure that you should be feeling before that. And that's only more motivation. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. And I still have some things coming up in terms of bookings, which I'm going to be releasing soon. I'm just confirming certain dates, but because I always keep people in the know, of course, of where I'm going to be. You have to continue. You have to continue stepping up. That's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. And people are going to show up at these shows, and they're going to feel how they feel. But at the end of the day, I have to continue putting on the best product that I can. I have to continue being the best and being someone that people can rely on. Because whether people like to say it or not, as you said, there is good company that's trusting me. And no, it's not just Dennis Long. All right. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm doing my thing. I'm getting out there, and that's just it. That's the bottom line. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna do what I have to